there's a sound witnesses never forget. Not the trumpet, not the roar, but the moment the ground begins to shake beneath them. 1 second, the African bush is silent. The next, 12,000 pounds of muscles explodes from the trees like a living avalanche. No predator announces death, quite like the African elephant. In 2021, a safari guide in Zimbabwe described watching an elephant burst through dense brush like a freight train possessed. Within seconds, the animal flipped a vehicle, crushed steel like paper, and left nothing but screams echoing through the dust. This wasn't hunger. This wasn't defense. This was rage. And the most terrifying part is that African elephants do not need claws, venom, or fangs to kill. Nature designed them into something far worse, a walking tank with intelligence, memory, and enough raw power to turn a human body into shattered bone beneath its feet. For decades, humans painted elephants as peaceful giants, wise, emotional, gentle. But deep inside the African wilderness, another version exists, a darker version. Male African elephants can enter a state known as mushed, where testosterone levels surge to terrifying extremes. During this period, they become unpredictable, hyper-aggressive, and violently territorial. When a creature weighing over 6 tons loses control, the result is catastrophic. Unlike predators that kill for food, elephants kill through dominance, fear, stress, and sometimes reasons researchers still cannot fully explain. They have been documented attacking rhinos, destroying villages, hunting vehicles, and charging humans without warning. These animals remember faces, they recognize voices, and once an elephant decides you are a threat, escaping becomes almost impossible. In Africa, elephants are responsible for hundreds of human deaths every year, more than many famous predators combined. Lions stalk their prey, crocodiles ambush, but elephants a race. A full-grown African bull can weigh between 10 and 14,000 pounds. Every movement carries devastating force through dense layers of muscle hidden beneath skin nearly an inch thick. Its trunk alone contains over 40,000 muscles, more muscles than the entire human body combined. That same trunk, capable of gently lifting a blade of grass, can also snap tree branches, crush rib cages, and throw a grown man through the air like a rag doll. Then there are the tusks. These are not just oversized teeth. They are ivory spears built by evolution into terrifying weapons. A charging elephant can impale vehicles, pierce predators, and rip through flesh with horrifying ease. An angry elephant does not simply attack, it annihilates. Their top speed reaches nearly 25 miles per hour, fast enough to outrun most humans in seconds. And unlike rhinos or hippos, elephants possess frightening intelligence during an attack. They can fake charge, they can flank targets, they can destroy escape routes. Witnesses have described elephants circling campsites before striking, almost as if calculating fear itself. Their hearing detects low-frequency vibrations through the earth itself, allowing them to sense movement miles away. Their memory is legendary, and their emotional complexity makes them even more dangerous. Because rage inside a predator is terrifying, but rage inside something intelligent becomes personal. Researchers studying elephant behavior have observed targeted aggression after traumatic events like poaching or habitat destruction. Some orphaned elephants develop violent tendencies, attacking villages and killing livestock without provocation. It was as though trauma transformed them into something unstable, something unpredictable. Giants twisted into monsters. In 2018, tourists inside a safari jeep in Zambia watched in horror as a massive bull elephant emerged from tall grass only yards away. At first, the animal stood motionless, silent. Then its ears spread a warning. Before the driver could reverse, the elephant charged. Witnesses described the impact sounding like a bomb. The tusks pierced the vehicle, metal folded inward. Passengers were thrown violently across the cabin as the elephant lifted the jeep partially off the ground. The attack lasted less than 20 seconds, but survivors later described watching the elephant continue stomping the wreckage even after the vehicle stopped moving, as if consumed by blind fury. Unlike many predators, elephants do not always stop once the threat is neutralized. They continue crushing, dragging, and trampling again and again. And when 6 tons of muscle comes crashing down onto a human body, there is often little left to identify. Deep in parts of Africa and Asia, there are stories locals whisper about at night. Stories of elephants returning. In one documented case, villagers reported a rogue elephant repeatedly targeting homes after previous confrontations with humans. It smashed walls, destroyed crops, and charged anyone who attempted to intervene. One night, under complete darkness, the animal stormed into the village again. Families fled, screaming into the trees while the ground shook beneath its footsteps. One man tripped while running. Witnesses later described hearing bones crack beneath the elephant's feet before silence consumed the village. The most terrifying detail was that the elephant lingered, standing over the body for several moments before disappearing back into the darkness. Experts believe elephants can associate locations and people with traumatic experiences for years. That means an elephant may not simply react in the moment, it may remember. And in the wilderness, memory can become vengeance. Perhaps the most horrifying elephant encounters happen when humans believe they are safe. In 2022, guests at a luxury safari lodge watched elephants peacefully roaming near an elevated viewing platform. At first, everything seemed calm. Then one bull suddenly locked onto movement near the structure. Its posture changed instantly. Head lowered, ears extended. Dust exploded beneath its feet as it charged directly toward the lodge. Guests screamed as the elephant slammed into support beams hard enough to shake the entire platform. Wood splintered, glass shattered. For several horrifying moments, witnesses believed the structure would collapse entirely. The elephant continued attacking before finally retreating back into the bush, disappearing as suddenly as it came. That is what makes African elephants so terrifying. There is often no warning, no predictable trigger. 1 second they are calm, the next they become engines of destruction, and once the charge begins there is almost no stopping it. The African elephant is not evil. It is something far more terrifying. It is nature without mercy. A creature so powerful that evolution removed the need for restraint. No claws, no poison, no stealth. Just overwhelming force capable of crushing almost anything in its path. And perhaps that is why elephants frighten us more than predators. Because predators hunt to survive. But elephants remind us that nature's deadliest creations do not always need a reason. Out there, deep in the African wilderness, the ground still trembles beneath their footsteps. Ancient giants, moving silently through the shadows, watching, remembering. And if you ever find yourself standing between an elephant and whatever it wants, pray it decides to spare you. Because nature does not forgive, and these killers do not show mercy, respect the boundary, or pay the price.